I live? Do we make it? Holy camole. Look at everybody. W's in the chat. Look at June. First one up there. Love it. Love it. Love it. Happy Monday. I think we had a Monday off. I think that's right, because I was down. Restream was down during. I got you worried there for a second. What's up, guys? Welcome, everybody. AWS is not down again. We're live. YouTube, I don't know. Yeah, what a way to open though. I mean, crazy Monday. Amazing Monday, actually. Yeah. Big stuff. You guys still coming in. There's music here. Should we try the music? I don't know. I don't know how loud this is gonna be. AI generated. Oh, it is Halloween. I'll make it kind of low. I like this. Is that too loud? It's Halloween. I don't have my pumpkin. I actually took it down. Damn it. But anyways, welcome, guys. Appreciate you, everybody hopping in. Got a handful of people sneaking in. If you can't, or if you haven't posted it on X or Twitter or whatever, go ahead, share it, retweet it, whatever you call it. Get the crew in. I know it's a little bit, tell me about gold, bro, please. Yes. So if you're new to the channel, number one, subscribe. Number two, like. Appreciate all the support, you guys. And what we will do is we will talk about exactly this kind of stuff. So today and every Monday, as long as the market's open and as long as AWS lets my restream work, what I do is, number one, I don't actually trade on Mondays. You know, that's the truth. But I kind of go over like, hey, look, what happened over the weekend? What are the headlines that I need to watch out for? What are some trades that maybe I'm in, or maybe we're watching moving forward? And what do we have on deck? What's moving the markets right now? What's important today? And how does it affect my portfolio today, and possibly our portfolios today? And really from a week to week basis. So this is my time that I kind of sit down and plan really the week, every week, and I just like to share it with you guys. So at the end of the video or the stream, if you will, we'll sometimes kind of take a couple minutes to do some audience requests. So if you guys have tickers that you want to take a look at, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and we'll hit a handful of those as well. So without further ado, blinded by the green, love it. Without further ado, let's get on with it. So, the major headlines this week, really, I mean, there's a handful, but Trump's on his trade rounds, if you will, and he comes back from like a Malaysia tour, and really, this is similar to what happened last week. So last week we were coming back from, last week we started off really green. And so I would kind of cautious that, because we started off last week pretty green. We ended green also, but in between there were a lot of bumps along the way. And I'm not so sure this week's going to be a whole lot different, just saying, but we're starting off really, really nice. Net, there's a ton of deals going on. It's like $500 or $800 billion in market cap that's exploding right now. Let me take this. I can change. I don't know why they do. Let me take my titles off so it's not in front of it. There you go. My name is Jason. If you didn't know, you don't need to have that title on there. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and notably, I think everybody's on the Qualcomm stuff. So U.S. trade, China trade framework, talks in Malaysia. I think this is still going on. There's a lot of stuff happening, and all the semis. And as I woke up this morning, I'm like looking at everything. I'm like, it's all exploding. And a lot of it is behind this the Saudi deal. So 200 megawatt. I'm just telling you, it's like every every week now there's a new deal, and the numbers are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's like, my God, I can't even keep up with this anymore. But yeah, it's almost like unbelievable. So the amount of money that we're talking about now is just like, it just sounds like funny money, and any real deals that I know of are just like they're sounding like more and more like pitiful. Like I saw some notes on SMCI, like it was a $12 billion SMCI orders, $12 billion in SMCI orders, which by the way are record orders. That's purchase orders that they get, which is huge. Ends up being like a nothing burger in the scheme of things, which is crazy. Malaysia trade framework lifts export curbs and on chips and rare earths. So the rare earths were getting hit this morning. It's almost like a reverse taco trade. So like the rare earth companies were on fire, and like I had a trade on similar not too long ago on Freeport, and sometimes when you get stuff like this, if there's headlines around it that pop your stocks, you still have to think about them like it's possibly the taco trade, right? And if they go too high, like this rare earth stuff, that was always on my mind as like, well, if the tariff stuff is making my stock go up, you kind of got to think about it that way too. It's like, well, if the tariffs come down, will that drop your stocks? And I think that's just what's happening with these rare earth stuff. I think they're probably kind of maxed out. So maybe just let them come down to earth for a while, and eventually they will probably come back to where they were. I don't know if it exactly where they were, but they'll cool down, level out, and eventually be back to a tradable level, but not yet. I see a bunch of tickers, but the ones that I won't do this asset entities. I think that's asset entities, but I know that's the Bitcoin miner one. He's half Asian, half Steve. Yes, that's true. Also very true. In other news, the gold stuff. Here's what I'll say. The gold is down a lot, and it's not really written here. The gold stuff, I had it written down on my notes. So that was just so much time kind of prepping and dealing with everything else right now. But gold has been up on two things. One, as a hedge against the dollar, and two, as a hedge against geopolitical uncertainty. And as we get closer to trade deals and things like that, one of these two things becomes less of a deal. As we have more trade deals come in, that geopolitical uncertainty piece, it's not really such a big deal anymore. So seeing that kind of unwind, I think, is normal. Actually, right around here is where gold has kind of landed, is exactly about where I was thinking it could come down to. But I think it goes sideways for a bit. Look, gold has had a big run. I don't think it's a short, but I do think that it does go sideways for a while. And then maybe like a month or so, and then eventually goes back on its merry way. It's not just short. It's going to go back up. The dollar, hedging against the dollar, is a real thing, especially for decreasing rates. You want to be long gold for the foreseeable future. So I think it's just kind of like a blip in the radar as one of those two defining reasons to be long gold kind of slowly unwinds here. But it'll probably be a choppy kind of like, just like it went sideways for about 45 days not too long ago before it went on this last breakout. One thing I would say is watch that volatility index for gold. That always gives you a good precursor for sure. Looking very Japanese and looking like Hawaii 5-0 are kind of like the same thing, especially for me. By the way, dude, like I have like 200 cousins in Hawaii. At least I'm told. This one, again, you guys are getting on some really cool. This one, okay, not a headline on the recap here, but I'll tell you what's going on. Lululemon to sign a deal with the NFL. Lululemon signs a deal with the NFL to partner with all the teams. So like, okay, Nike, who's beaten down like crazy, right? Nike's beaten down like crazy. They're in the middle of a turnaround story. They really kind of live on the sports stuff. And Lulu, who's like a nobody in that space, signs a deal with the NFL, and I'm like, that's what's going on here. that should be Nike's money. It's Nike's to lose, and like, why is Lulu coming in on this? It doesn't really look good. Also, technically, it's at the 200-day simple moving average. It's not going down, so we're going to look. I'm actually long Nike. I'm going to stay long Nike. I think it's kind of like a little blip in the radar, but to get hit at this technical level is normal. Not like slapped hit, but like to have a bit of a chop right now, I think is perfectly fine. But today, not going to move and going to be a little bit red because of that ridiculous Lulu trying to encroach on their space. I'm trying to find the headline, but I definitely saw it. I don't know if you guys see those kind of things, but yeah, Lulu doing a deal with the NFL to try to get a piece of those revenue. Yeah, that's a new one. But hey, good for them. They got to try something, right? Did you guys see that one? Yeah, I can't find it right now. I wish Nike would make look transformational type moves like this. Nike, they don't happen overnight. A Nike turnaround, there you go. Turnaround stories like Nike, they take years. So don't be in Nike thinking that it's going to happen overnight or over 1 or 2 quarters. They take at least 2 years, maybe 3 sometimes. Like, take a look at General Electric. First of all, General Electric was like poster child stock for the Dow for the longest time. And then it tanked, I don't know, 90%. They got a new CEO, Larry Culp, like financial genius, one of the best CEOs in the markets. And it took him over 2 years to turn that company around, really. And the stock got a little pop when he came in, but it didn't turn around right away. It took him 2 years before that stock actually turned around. So first of all, Nike, this is not Larry Culp that we're talking about. It's an internal person. Even 3M, amazing turnaround story in the works right now, but that took a long time for that story to start to play out, right? Same thing, like Boeing's going to take a long time. But yeah, NFL crazy. Yeah, long Lulu, I don't know about that either. Do better though. Yeah, give the guy a break. He's an internal guy. We'll see. Azure AI Cloud. So Microsoft finally bucking the trend. AWS. Look, we got the Mag 7 reporting this week. This is a massive week on deck. GEV. Yeah. So this GEV. So when Larry Culp came in, I'm going to tangent here for a second and I'll be done with it. But when Larry Culp came in, Larry Culp's financial genius, right? And his whole thing was like the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. No, definitively. And he outlined this plan to spin out GEV, GE, and GE Healthcare. And if you knew back in the day that GE Healthcare was the one component of GE that was always holding it down because they would constantly lose money, but GE and GE Vernova were actually doing okay. Actually, GE Vernova wasn't always doing okay, but GE Aerospace always was. Yeah, like chop that arm off, baby, and let's go. But that's what happened. And yeah, he created the value for sure. Other than that, look, there's a lot of stuff going on in AI land, and it is just getting hot and heavy out there for sure. But let's go ahead and take a look at the week. I think, if you're to take anything right now, the theme here is trade deals. AI explosion is still happening. The numbers are still getting bigger. And then in the midst of all this, we do have Mag 7 earnings. And then boom, Wednesday, FOMC, by the way. So Wednesday, we have FOMC rate decision. And today, Monday, it's all kind of like euphoria into, we have Mag 7 earnings coming, Microsoft, all of them. We have, we're off of CPI that was expected to be hot, but came in, I think it was a little bit cooler. And we have nothing but good news right now. So we're, of course, at all-time highs. It looks really good. And so far, by the way, all of the earnings have been pretty good. And we're about to cut rates. We're about to cut rates into all-time highs, and everything looks pretty good. So that's what the underlying story is of the market. So of course we're at all-time highs. And I quite frankly, I don't have a reason to be not long, but just know that if the story changes a little bit, it might get a little choppy in the meantime. I saw your notes about CRM. We can talk about CRM today too. This is the earnings calendar, and it's getting hot and it's getting heavy, boys and girls. So even Keurig Dr. Pepper today. So with some of these headlines, a lot of the safety trades are kind of getting unwind, and then you have Keurig Dr. Pepper, which, by the way, Dr. Pepper fan, it's the only soda in the house that you'll find. Is I don't do the K-cups. Is up like 10% today. 10%. Did you guys see that? Insane. 10%. That's a big move for Keurig Dr. Pepper. I haven't seen Waste Management. Waste Management is tonight. SoFi tomorrow morning. SoFi is towards the highs. I think if we'll take a look at these stocks, my boys are in Corning for sure. This stock has been flying high for sure. We get is this the first? This is a big one. D.R. Horton, the first home builder to go. So you don't know this, but D.R. Horton, or you might not know this. Can you guys confirm? Absolutely on Dr. Pepper. Yeah, that's right. D.R. Horton is going to be a precursor to the home builders. This one stock tomorrow morning is going to move an entire sector. Can anybody tell me if can you guys confirm that this is the first home builder? Pretty positive it is. So this one stock, if you didn't know, will move an entire sector of stocks tomorrow morning. That is Toll Brothers, D.R. Horton, even Home Depot, Restoration Hardware, all of the home builders, probably down to Rocket Mortgage, is going to move on D.R. Horton tomorrow morning. XHB, yeah. The entire sector, XHB. It's a big one. UNH, I'm sure everybody's watching this. So look, this next week, guys, is jam-packed. It's insane. SoFi to the moon. Here's the thing about SoFi. We're trading at 30-ish right now. And the deal is, okay, so SoFi is trading near $30. Let me ask the chat. I don't know how to do like polls. I'm not cool like my boys admit. Did you guys wish him a happy birthday? I gotta hop on his stream later tonight and wish him a happy birthday. If he didn't, we got to do that. But even if SoFi dumps right now on earnings, which that's kind of their deal, is that they do this double beat and double skeet kind of thing. Are you going to buy the dip? I think that's my question. Like, do you buy the dip? What was your cover call? The comp plant. Wait, SoFi already to the moon. Yeah, on the moon. Yeah, Yes, right. That is correct. That's as I understand it. That's how I understand it also. Cover calls for 30. It depends on the time. That's kind of generic. Cover calls for 30. Depends on how far out you are. Yeah, Patrick's right. It's a horrible, nasty sell-off habit, but it's like, do they buy the dip? Even if it's like 25, I'm pretty sure you see 25 when SoFi post earnings, they buy the dip. You did. Nice. UNH does report. Yeah, UNH is right here. UNH reports. Some people like the music, some people don't. It was a restream option. I'm just making it real. Hey, it's Halloween, guys. This is my only Halloween stream. I'm keeping some music, but it's real low. It is what it is saying. It's super low. I need my Halloween vibe. But yeah, so DR Horton, I think, is going to be the biggest one in terms of market moving tomorrow. UPS is just, yeah, I don't think you trade this thing. I don't think this is going anywhere for many, many years. This one is in the dumper. Yes, there's upside, but they have unions now. You don't want unions. That's bad. At least to make money. Unions don't help companies make money at all. So that's horrible for the stock price. It just kind of is what it is. N-phase, I don't know. Bloom, is that Bloom Energy? Bloom Energy, yeah. That one is, if this thing is still up, I think that needs to go down. I said that. Unions are bad for unions are good for employees, but they're bad for stocks. I guess they're bad for employees if you have employee stock purchase programs. If you have a lot in that, but yes, there you go. Yeah, they need, but there's upside in robotics because like they could be driving a lot more efficiency, which would be also why they need the union probably. So it's like this push pull. Like there's upside if robotics can drive efficiency for UPS, but unions aren't going to want the robotics to come in. So that's the push pull, and it's probably going to be many years of recovery. Yeah, sorry, I've never been part of a union, so hopefully I didn't misspeak. Sorry. Anyways, Bloom Energy, this thing was super speculative. I don't know, maybe they changed the storyline. I don't know, but that was flying high. Caterpillar, Healthcare. So then we have some healthcare. So we have UNH kicking off the healthcare sector. One day, I'm going to ask Chris to join a stream, and I need him to break down this healthcare shenanigans for me, because I know that you guys love UNH, but someone needs to really convince me that HCA is not the new UNH. Do you guys know HCA? Like, help me understand how HCA is not the new UNH. Does anybody own HCA? What about Royal Caribbean? I mean, this is small. Royal Caribbean is a small market cap. So it's not like going to be market impactful, but the sector is super small. Mondelez. And then we kick it off big time. So single day. Oh God, look at this. Wednesday after the close, all in one shot. Like in one foul swoop, Microsoft, Meta, and Google, and ServiceNow. That's just gonna be wild. And 103 others. So many. MasterCard, Roblox, Merck, Crocs. I don't own any Crocs, but I'll tell you guys what. True story. Some Crocs showed up at the house. I don't own any Crocs, but apparently now my son owns Crocs now, and my wife had these Crocs sandals delivered. They're like this. They fold out. They look like regular sandals, not the Croc sandals. I don't know. I didn't even know they had those. Oh my God. And then the next day, Amazon and Apple. Hey, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Amazon, Apple. Would 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We already had Tesla. So what's true? How's the market holding up right now? I don't know. We'll look in a little bit. And Jerome. All on Wednesday. This is all going down on Wednesday. Right? Wednesday, FOMC rate decision, midday. And then after the close, Microsoft, Meta, Google. And then Thursday morning, Amazon, Apple to close it off. I mean, yeah. Some of these will miss. Somebody's going to miss. It probably is going to be Meta. Ooh, did I say that out loud? I don't know. It's a tough one. And MSCR, which, by the way, MSCR, I am officially a bag holder of MSTY as of last week, because the direction ETFs, the ones that pay you, have turned into weekly payers. The income generating ETFs have turned into weekly payers. So if you own MSTY, you're going to get this extra premium for the options. I think that's going to be a play when you do that for this earnings season. I know. Only for that divvy. I don't even know what that is. Oh God, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know why this is on here. T. Rowe Price. God, they got slapped. Yeah. So until Wednesday, there may not be. It's gonna hit hard on Wednesday. It's gonna hit hard on Wednesday. SMCI, big gap up. We'll talk about SMCI when we get to the charts. And then I know some of you guys have Amcor. Some of you guys talked about Amcor. That's tonight. I'm kind of indifferent about it, but what I do know about Amcor, because I think that some of you guys are in this with I think is Vishant Stock Talk and our boy. I think that's the one, right? The packaging one. When I got asked about it, the one thing I can tell you is that they have to mention in their is this the right one? Is Amcor the one that's the packaging company? You guys tell me? I think, yes, it is. Okay, cool. So I don't know if he's told you this or not, but what's true is that they have to mention anybody that represents more than 10% of their business. And right now, NVDA and whoever, or TSN, is not mentioned. TSM is not mentioned in their customers. So that means by default that they do not currently represent 10% of their business. And if they are mentioned moving forward, then they will be more than 10% of the business. Right now, it's Apple is their largest customer. So that essentially would be what you're looking for. Otherwise, it's kind of like, hoping for. All right. I mean, it's a big one. The last thing, so there are a couple questions on is it? Oh, you guys, Lyft is about ready to lift. Oh, yeah. A couple notes on Atlassian and Twilio, and maybe like Elastic and a handful of these. And I saw some CRM comments. It's about this. The reason these stocks are still getting held down. Twilio, by the way, decent pop today, but it's about this OpenAI encroachment into the enterprise. OpenAI is trying to go into the enterprise, which into the enterprise means like they want bigger customers, large business customers, S&P 500 type customers, which they do not have right now. And because they basically sell to you and me, individuals. And who like who Twilio sells to, who CRM sells to, those are large scale customers. And ServiceNow, I think especially for CRM, what's going to be important is how companies like ServiceNow and Twilio do in their reports and what their commentary is about OpenAI's attempt to enter their space. And if they do perfectly fine, I think CRM will do perfectly fine also. But this is going to kind of be the litmus test, the precursor, if you will, on how CRM will act. And until then, until these guys start to report, these small cap SaaS companies, ServiceNow and Twilio, they're not small cap, mid cap SaaS companies. Once those guys start to report, then it'll show up. Oh yeah, and then we have the Celestica. This is somebody in my chat keeps talking to me about Celestica. This chart is off the hook. This looks a really good chart. So I got to give it to them, and I just ended up biting the bullet and just like, fine, buy it, hold it, whatever. Rambus, not good. Reddit, there's a lot. There's so much this week. Holy crap. I don't know if I'm even ready for this. So much work to be done. I'm probably not going to be even trading this week because it's just so much earnings. Doesn't the Qualcomm, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not on the Amcor, but it's going to be about if it's probably a small percentage of business. Like they do when you buy an iPhone, Amcor makes those boxes. So I don't know how custom, how custom a cell phone box is. Like that's probably a very expensive box. So it makes sense for that. But anyways, let's do this. We got to get into some charts, or not charts. You know what? Let's do one more thing. I don't have our boy Evan here, but let's do one last look into some catalysts. So full catalyst watch. See if I missed anything. This is our boy Evan. His picture for the day. So yeah, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, UNH, Lilly, Exxon, Visa. That was a stretch. We just looked at this one. I want to see who's on. So Deckers, retail, by the way, that's coming in hot and heavy. I saw Target. I saw Target moving pretty heavy. They do all boxes. They do all boxes. Retail coming into the holiday season, I don't know. I think you want to be at least for a pop. Retail looks good. So yeah, Welltower, NXPI, we saw Keurig. Adobe has a creativity conference right now. Isn't it even moving? I don't know. Notable companies report include Microsoft, Google. I'm looking for, monetary. So Fed on Wednesday, Thursday, Apex Summit, Core Scientific. Oh. Shoot, I have to jet soon. Okay, so Core Scientific. I'm gonna have to do a second stream. I won't be able to get in the charts. Core Scientific vote on Thursday. This is gonna affect CoreWeave big time. That's a tough one. And the Honeywell, Amazon, and then Friday we kick off the oil sector for sure. All right, so I'm gonna do the indices. I just got pinged. I have to jump into a meeting here in a little bit. So shoot, I will do a second one, or we'll open up the stream. So for SPY, I mean, this is a lot right now. We're going hot. We're going heavy. I think there are two things really to note. Here, this was one. As long as we can hold, we're not even close to this. The number is 680. So as long as we can hold 680 this week, which is halfway between today's pre-market high and the weekend gap, we're actually on track to get into the 690s for the week. It's tough when you have a gap like this to make a note for the week. There are a couple of trading points intra-week. If there are one pivot, so 682. So 682, if we have this move for sure, we're actually going to go into that 680. And if we do lose at some point, and this is probably going to come down to Wednesday, if we do lose at some point 679, we actually will fill this full session gap. But for right now, that session gap, that weekend from the weekend move, that's 677. This week should not, as long as nothing crazy changes, this week should not actually go below that, and that should hold as the full kind of like support level. It's just if we get below 677, that's giving all of this back and then some, and that's really not going to be looking good. And in the meantime, I still have exactly what I just outlined. So I'll do the same for Qs. And then I actually just got pinged on a super important meeting that I'm really late to because we're really late on this. So this one, I'm at all targets right now. So this one, our session gap here, sorry guys, 617. And then my pre-market high is 625, which gives me a target of 630. Is that really real? I guess so. 633 first, and then 638. Let me just do one more. Yeah, so an average weekly range is 640. Average weekly range is 640. And as long as we can hold $621, these are measured moves. Yeah, it's 621. As long as we can hold 621 then we are pretty good on this. This is very wiki. I say wiki, it's like a very long line orb. Otherwise, these are kind of small blips in the radar. It's hard to chase this here. Otherwise, you'd have two little pops, but 617.50, which this is very small. You can't really see. 617.50 is that session gap. And then SPY. Oops. That SPY session gap is down here at 677.29. All right, I'll just do like, I can only do a couple. There are a couple that, I don't know if anybody's looking at this. I don't think I'm going to do this one, but Berkshire's down a bit. This is on, it just ever since Buffett announced that he was kind of retiring, this thing is just kind of starting to bleed out. I think if you're interested, you got to wait a bit. I think they'll probably have good earnings, but that the whole thing about him leaving is probably why this is coming down. Based on some of the commentary that we had, look, we're over. This is CRM. I'm doing a 4-hour chart right now. Oh, I gotta take that. I have this different mouse. I gotta take that button off. CRM coming down. So as long as this can get back over 258, I think we're good. But in the meantime, I'm not so sure. I think 2 days on this guy is probably going to be sideways. You're over this prevailing downtrend, but I think it does go sideways a bit and probably down to this lower 250 mark. I just think it's just going to be sideways for a while. I think depending on what like the Twilios and Asanas start to say, that's where this goes. And this doesn't have earnings till way late December. In the meantime, stay long NVIDIA as these Mag 7s report. This one, it's a big, heavy shot to the upside. I think this, as long as this can get a little bit higher, this is looking good. Hood is looking good. Palantir, congrats. I think happy all-time high days to the Palantirians. This is looking, continuation, but you're going to have earnings coming. This is your pre-earnings kind of pop. And then Amazon is on track, at least charting, to get to that 240 level where it hit its head before. If it has good earnings, that's probably where it lands, somewhere up there. And I'm going to check a little bit. Circle is looking a lot better. And bmnr is also looking a lot better. So bought the dip, bmnr, congrats. We'll take a look at ETH, and then I'm going to call it right at the 50-day here. Tough. This is tough. We're at resistance. So I don't think you add. But if it doesn't get through this is risky. This is at resistance. I'm staying long. I'm hoping and praying, but I know that I could get slapped here with the short. The bears, I'm at max capacity here. The bears could have me. I'm at risk. I'm at risk of this. I don't want that. It's a real possibility. Hopefully, I get this, and we're all on our merry freaking way, which is what I think is going to happen. But I just have to know that even if this pulls back, it's okay, because I'll still have another shot or two. But I think this general low hopefully holds. But I'm not going to get overly excited about Ethereum here just yet. Even if it doesn't break through and it pulls back, I think this was the recent dip buy, but it's not. I think you just stay. And I would stay the same thing with bmnr. Oh, SMCI. SMCI, last one I will do. Look, 48. was the technical level retesting right here to hold. It's not broken, but it's not in a breakout zone. I don't think that was the headline that I was looking for. It actually was. I was looking for about that much in net new orders. We got it. I got it. Got exactly what I was looking for in terms of the orders. But I think it can still go sideways for a while. So here's the current trajectory. I just have debit spreads here. I don't think it has like that parabolic move until post earnings. So I think that this sideways price action I think it goes sideways. I think it goes sideways until earnings, at which time earnings, November 4th, is kind of like the show me story. It is what it is. I think it's going to be fine. At the end of the day, the numbers are bigger and bigger and bigger every day. It's a good pop today, but honestly, it's not even that big of a pop. The numbers for the data center and everything are getting bigger. I will say, hey, look, Dell remains to be the better executor, and I think that what just happened recently is just like, if they can't beat, I think it's just a disconnect. Look, $12 billion in net new bookings on SMCI. That's freaking bullish. I don't care how you view it. I think the market just doesn't understand that. They basically priced it at this level. They priced it like those bookings aren't ever going to happen. I think this is going to be fine long term. But if you're looking for a short term, you're not looking at it correctly, and you should just get out straight up. So, because you're gambling on this one. I think they do report the best absolute quarter that they've ever had. I don't think that changes, but I don't know that makes the stock go up either. I can't say that for sure, because that doesn't necessarily mean the stock goes up. But otherwise, technically still going sideways. It's not unlike Rivian. Somebody asked about Rivian, and then I'm really done. But I think Rivian is doing like a hood / Palantir that they did for like multi years before it finally moved. I don't know if it's this quarter or not, but these guys chopped around like this for years. I don't think it's going down. I don't think it's going out of business. But this kind of price action is like, there's a base. As long as they don't dilute any further, you'd be okay. But this is not a short-term game. So looking at this near term is even if it was at 16, this is where we are though. I think there's upside to 1588, but then that's probably it. And then it could come down. 1285 is a pivot on Rivian. That could be like, I don't know, late 2027. Could be even 2028. You're just now getting a 200-week SMA into the 20s. But all right, guys. Sorry, I got to cut this one short. Can I touch on Nike? No, we talked about it. It's more of a talk about. It's at the spot. I don't think it goes down. But there's not really much to say on Nike other than it's a long story, big transformation. But that one's going to take a while too. All right, guys. I got a jet for now. Sorry, late stream. Had to rush in, but appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.